Okay, this is supposed to be a 5-part series. It's now becoming an 8-part series, so I just added another one on. I thought, what the heck, let's just talk about post-whelp, because it's not really to do with progesterone levels, but just in the completeness of the whole thing, let's just talk about, what you're going to do when you come home with your babies from a C-section, or she's had puppies and she's done, and now you've got to start your actual whelping process. And so this is going to be a plug for my products. So My Breeder Supply is where you can buy this product. Okay, so what the heck am I talking about? Look, every time that you have puppies, you need to have a secure environment for mum to be with her babies where she feels comfortable and the puppies are warm and the puppies don't get squashed. This is fundamental stuff. If you don't do this part, I promise you, if you have enough of this going on in your life, you will lose puppies because you have not paid attention to this. So, I'm going to talk about the way we think that you should do it. It is certainly not the only way that you should do it. What we use is a crate. And you're looking down on the top of the crate. How big is this crate? Well, if you've got Frenchies, it's a 42 by 28 crate. If you've got Labradors or 60, 70 pound dogs, it's a 48 by 30 crate. If you've got really big dogs like Mastiffs, there are bigger versions of this, and I'd have to go look and see, but I think it's going to be something like 60 by 40. I like the crate. I like the crate because it lets you give a really nice, safe environment for mum that you can control her access. Dual whelps, quick whelps, easy whelps. There's a lot of people who use those and they work great. The only thing that I don't like about those things is the dog can get out. So, everything's going good. You come home after you've been out eating and there's a puppy missing. Well, what she's done is she's taken that puppy and moved it somewhere. And now she's put that puppy in a place that she thinks is an appropriate place. She may have moved the whole litter. And that might be fine, but it might not be fine. I do not like that. I want to put her in a crate and I'm closing the door up. And a lot of you are going to say, well, that's really cruel. She's not going to like it. I promise you, my dogs want to be in there in the crate because I'm going to set up a nice environment for them. And this is the environment. Okay. So the first fundamental thing is you have to put in a pig rail. A pig rail is basically some kind of ledge, piece of pipe, wooden lath, I don't care what it is, that basically is raised above the floor. Remember, this is a looking down on the crate, raised above the floor by a few inches. And so if you look to the side view of this crate, what you'd see is, here's the floor of the crate, and here is the pig rail above it. And that's the pig rail above it, all right? We have this area a few inches away from the wall and a few inches off the floor, where if a puppy gets backed up by mum against the cage, it has an escape route. It can get in or out from that area, or at least it can be there and not get squashed. If you don't have that, mum will, in her sleep, because she's going to be exhausted, move around, buck up against a wall, and squish her puppy up against the wall. And there's two things that will happen. One is the puppy may get squished and can't breathe, or it may be in an area where there's no heat and get cold. You need to have a pig rail. This is fundamental. You need to have a pig rail. So in our system, we give you some little corner adapters that you buy from us. And we construct this whole thing out of 1.5 inch PVC pipe. And these things have some legs that sit down in the corners of them. And it's very easy to put together. You just cut up a piece of pipe. You actually measure the tray, subtract 5.5 inches. Cut yourself 4 pieces of 1.5 inch PVC pipe. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, I'll do it for you. The pipe's like $5. And you could very quickly have constructed a safe, secure environment with a pig rail. All right, so that's fundamental. Right, so here comes our magic. This is why we are so darn clever. So, what we supply for you, we're not that clever, by the way, but we do think hard about this stuff, and I have actually patented this because it's such a good idea. And I don't know how many people I've got now using this, but it's well over 2,000 people. What we provide for you is some pressure-sensitive heat tape with a thermostat, and you stick that to the underneath of this floor, and that heat tape basically sits under the floor so the puppies can't get to it, directly underneath this pig rail. And it literally installs, we pre-make it to the size of the crate you're going to use. You can even use paddling pools, or you can build your own crate. We can build whatever size you want. And this thing then connects to a thermostat. And that plugs into 110. And you can dial up exactly what temperature you want this thing to be at, like 100 degrees. And it will maintain that floor temperature for as long as that's plugged in to 100 degrees. All right. Okay, so why does this help? So here's why this is so good. So mum's in the middle here. This is mum. Mum's in the middle. Guess what? Mum has a fur coat on. If you start putting heat lamps in there, the person who's closest to the heat lamp is mum. She does not want any extra heat. She doesn't like that at all. If she could say anything to you, she'd say, shut that damn heat lamp out, off. So we don't like that as a solution. In fact, I have actually succeeded in sunburning some dogs with a heat lamp many, many years ago. Heat lamps, hate them. So what's the next thing that you do? Well, you go buy a heating pad and you put a heating pad underneath here. Okay, very good. Well, that's better than the heat lamp. The problem with it is, guess who's getting the heat again? It's mum, she doesn't like it. And the second thing is, if you buy a commercial heat lamp for human beings, it'll shut off after 4 to 6 hours in the middle of the night, and that's not a good solution either. So that's not a very good solution. So we don't like that as a solution. So what we have done is we have put the heat around the outside. So what happens? Mum wants to be in there. She's not getting up and down. She's not patting her head off. She's happy. The babies are nursing on mum. While they're nursing on mum, they're getting warmth from mum. They're doing that for 10, 15 minutes every few hours. They finish nursing. They're on this relatively cool surface that mum likes, and they start moving around. Newborn puppies have two instincts: find nourishment and find warmth. They will start moving around, and the moment that they find this area here under the pig row where the warmth is, they go to sleep. And you will find all of your puppies under this pig row quiet as church mice. They will not be making a peep. And they will stay there until they're ready to feed, and then they will travel back and find mum and they'll start feeding again. And they'll all do it at different times. And that's fine, because it makes less pressure on mum. Puppies aren't, when you take puppies away from mum, you can cause anxiety in mum. She doesn't like the fact she doesn't have her babies. The bond that she's supposed to have with her babies might be lost, and she may not even look after them properly. Puppies that are only given to mum every few hours are very thirsty, and they drink like crazy, and they can get milk aspiration. There's all kinds of reasons why this works so well. You get your life back. This is her job to look after her babies. It's not your job. The reason that you should have an incubator like this is when you've got puppies that are in trouble, not that you're going to keep the puppies in here 24/7 for the next 3 weeks. For the next 3 weeks, your puppies should be with mum, and your mum should be doing what she does best, being a mum. And I can tell you, with this system here, what we do is we then throw a blanket over the whole thing. It's kind of dark in there. We'll leave a little bit of it open so mum can see outside. We go put fresh water and food in there in a bowl that's got a lip on it without too much water in there, because if a puppy manages to get in, you don't want to drown a puppy. Then we will check on mum every few hours and see if she wants to go outside. Invariably, she doesn't want to go outside, and when I decide it's time for her to go outside and pee and poop, I have to drag her out of here. She does not want to leave her babies. That's wonderful. She goes outside, she squats down, she pees, she's straight back to the door, and it's like, nope, now we're going to poop, and I've got to force her for the next 5 minutes to be away from her babies while she relieves herself. I open up the door to the utility room, she barrels straight back in there. She wants back in with the babies. I mean, it's a great world. I mean, this is what you want. You don't want to have to be waking up every 3 hours to take puppies from an incubator and put them on mum. You want mum to do it, and that's what this does for you. So, there's other ways to whelp, but I promise you, this is a fantastic system that I just thought of many, many years ago and developed over the last 5 or 6 years. This thing makes it safer for your babies, it makes it better for your mum, and it gives you your life back. Okay, I think we just did post-whelp. I think we've got one to do, which is what happens for the next cycle. So that was a long one. Hope it was useful. Here's where you buy that. My British Supply. Patented. Can't buy it anywhere else. If anybody else is selling this, they're going to get a cease and desist from me. Patented by me. My British Supply. Thanks for watching. Bye.